Little Evil said, "It's nothing, it's just that I often heard my grandfather say that your fortune-telling skills are unparalleled in the world, and you don't know how many people have solved problems for a piece of iron, so I feel very familiar when I hear your name." Joe Babbo sighed, "Young brother, I won't tell you, my old man also has things that he can't calculate, such as where the gang that chased you came from and who was the mastermind. I don't even have any clues, so I will come here." Little Evil said, "Why have you been hunted down and killed?" Joe Babbo said, "Yes, the old man was chased and killed, but fortunately he was seriously injured and did not die, so he looked at the street and said with a smile, 'Little brother, your trouble is coming. Don't say I'm Joe Babbo, you deal with him well, he got out of the famous monster.'" Xiaoxie looked at the street, a bad old man, his head was scattered, his clothes were more than 57 feet, he was full of nonsense, his facial features were mediocre, and the most special thing was that he hung 2 fist-sized dice on his chest. Xiaoxie looked at it and smiled, "Isn't this a gambler? What is it, there are dice on my chest? I think I have to hang the table." This bad old man is one of the 6 monsters in the rivers and lakes gambling monster Duan K lost. His gambling skills are mediocre, is like to gamble, gambling and losing his life betting. People who know him, don't dare to win him, otherwise he will be entangled by him, that cannot get out. A body of martial arts has few opponents, especially the Bagwazang is the most. At this time, he had already walked to the stall set up by the Little Evil and shouted, "How about we take a gamble on the little watch?" The Little Evil said, "You bet." Shaking his shoulders, the Little Evil thought that a master was coming. Duan K lost and took out a penny to bet on the big one, copied the dice in the little demon's hand and shook it. "Ha ha!" He was laughing, his hand turned over and covered, and 3 dice appeared on the table, 2 and 1 and 6 small. The Little Evil smiled and said, "You lost," and reached out to get the copper coin. Fart! Duan K lost and flashed his hand, which was already clasping the Little Evil wrist vein. "Oops!" Xiaoxie screamed in pain, only to feel that his right wrist was shattered to death. Duan K shouted, "Why do you insist on taking my money if you lose?" Xiaoxie shouted, "You are shaking 2 and 1 6, which is small." "Nonsense, I obviously shook 2 5 and 1 6. He said that if he used his left hand to turn the dice into 5 and 6 points, and pointed it to Xiaoxie, it's obviously 16 o'clock, do you want to rely on it? The Little Evil hand was really caught, and he didn't want to distinguish it anymore and shouted, "Okay, good, I'll pay for it, you let it go." Duan K lost and said, "Who wants you to pay? I want your table." Xiaoxie hurriedly said, "Okay. You want to give you everything, please let it go." "Ha ha! This is like words." Duan K let go of Xiaoxie's right hand and carried the table to the opposite side to set up a stall. Xiaoxie shook his right hand and shouted, "Fucking old immortal, you found my head and pinched my hand so painfully, hum." He picked up a lot of stones and put them in his pocket, walked up to Duan Qiu and said with a smile, "Uncle, you are really good, you will win my stall at once, I really admire you, can you teach me?" Xiao Ye now knows that this guy is a good gambler, and his gambling skills are very poor, and he is a little crazy, thinking that his gambling skills are amazing, and he pats his ass to ensure that he is useful. As soon as the old man heard that someone praised him for his gambling skills, Xiaoxie was so happy that he forgot who he was, and he hurriedly said, "Little brother, don't wait until I win a lot of money, I will invite you to drink and I will tell you at that time. He's put all the grudges he just had done." Xiaoxie scolded secretly in his heart, "Humph, please me, you count that green onion, today I have to let you take off a layer of skin to be willing." When he saw that the old man had been much kinder, and knew that things were going well, he smiled and said, "Uncle, do you like gambling very much, and you have never touched an opponent?" Duan Ke smiled and said, "There. I never lose, you see I have 2 dice hanging on my chest, and you also know that no one in the world can win me." The little evil said, "Uncle, you are really powerful, but do you know what the latest bet is now?" Duan Kefu had slowly stepped into the trap of the little evil, and he said curiously, "The latest gambling method isn't gambling only about rolling dice and stacking pai gao?" Little evil said, "Uncle, gambling and martial arts are the same, there are new tricks every day, if you don't learn some new tricks, people will laugh off their big teeth, maybe they will scold people and not enter the stream." Duan Ke was taken aback, he didn't even learn a new move, he hurriedly said, "How is the new trick of the little watch?" Xiaoxie smiled and said, "Let me tell you, the latest gambling wong is to keep his eyes shut, then bite the cup with his mouth, put his hands behind his back, and I'll do it for you." He did the same as he had just recited, then put the dice in the cup. "Whoever guesses what time wins. Do you want to try it?" Duan Ke lost a lot, no one had ever taught him gambling skills, but now someone taught him and it was the latest. He had already put aside his vigilance from friend and foe, immediately tore off his clothes and tied his eyes, and then bit down the cup and put his hands behind his back. "Wait for the instructions of the little evil." Xiaoxie smiled and said, "I'm going to put the dice, are you ready?" Duan Ke lost, "Okay, you can let it go." Xiaoxie laughed a few times and said, "Uncle, will you go to get the cup with your hand?" "Don't worry, I won't." Little evil said, "We play this latest gambling method to tie our hands, because both sides can't see. If one party touches the cup with their hands, it's unfair, but I think you are a senior, so you don't need to tie your hands, you just endure it." The little evil is a plan to catch the old and catch the turtle. Bing Groundu and Kalun couldn't hold back and shouted, "Don't talk nonsense, tie my hands according to the regulations, lest people say that I cheat." The little evil said, "Okay, I'll follow the rules." He tore off the white cloth covering the table, and in 3 or 2 strokes, he tied Duan Ke's hands behind his back. Then he shook the cup a few times and said, "No, no, you just said that you have made a lot of cups, and you will bite into it a little more." Duan Kalun was anxious to taste the new gambling method, so he immediately did so, squeaking and whining to indicate that he wanted Xiao Evil to hurry up. Xiaoxie saw that the time had come and said angrily, "Bet on your mother's head." Slap! He has already punched the cup into Duan Qiu's mouth, "Pa pa pa." He kept hitting Duan Qiu's head and shouted, "Stinky old man, you have eaten a bear's heart and a leopard, dare to dismantle your ancestors' lift, you don't want to die." Duan Ke lost that, thinking that this kid was so bold, he dared to put his own famous monster in this way, but unfortunately the little evil first entered the rivers and lakes. No matter what, gambling or not, whoever provoked him, who would have retribution. Duan Ke couldn't speak, couldn't move, couldn't see only with his feet, only saw him hit left and right, kicked forward and made a mess of the whole street. Xiaoxie scolded as he ran, "Stinky old man, don't gamble if you can't afford it. Do you think I, Yang Xiaoxie, am a good bully, and you are lucky not to cut off your tongue? See if you dare in the future." Duan Ke has suffered this kind of hardship, and he has already bitten the cup and scolded, "The boy is coming." A whirlwind leg has been kicked towards Xiaoye's pronunciation. "It's still early." Xiaoxie gently swept behind Duan Ke and kicked him in the buttocks. Bang! Duan Ke lost and held a dog to eat. He he he. The little evil stood at the head. Wow! Duan Ke roared angrily, and his body shot randomly, scolding around the street like a crazy man, but this time he was right. He sat down in front of the temple stone lion, and immediately put his gloves into the stone lion's teeth and pulled hard, and actually ripped off the cloth strip. He also tore off the scarlet cloth with his hand. Xiaoxie exclaimed when he saw it, "Wowka, my mother!" and ran away, escaped there. Duan Ke was extremely angry, and his momentum was like a rainbow, and he had chased after Xiaoxie. Wowka! Xiaoxie has hit the cherry blossom in a hurry, full of leprosy 10 luck, just this one. Duan Kalun has rushed up and slapped Xiaoye on the chest, broken. Xiaoye has fallen out of this 8 feet away, and blood oozes from the corners of his mouth. What is it? Xiaoxie didn't care about so many hands when he saw blood, and he struck Dharma boundless. Dozens of palms appeared, which had cut to Duan Ke's head, and its momentum was as sharp as the Yangtze River bursting its embankment. Duan Ke lost when he saw that the person who came had a strange palm and was careless, and he shrugged angrily, and he took out his housekeeping skill Bagua palm to meet Shang Tuo. Bang! The two sides contacted again, and the little evil held back again, and Duan Ke lost 3 steps back, surprised.